I got a strange email 3 weeks ago. No subject, no sender, just a link to a video. A grainy clip of a rural Serbian road at night. Fog, crickets, then, a woman in white, barefoot, dancing in the middle of the road. Her movements were unnatural, loose, like her body wasn't hers. No music, just the sound of her feet sliding across asphalt. I watched it a few times. Didn't think much of it, until the last 2 seconds. She turned, and I froze. She had my face. At first, I thought it was a deep fake. Some AI horror prank. But then I got a photo. Someone had taken a picture of my apartment window, from outside. At night, I hadn't been home in 2 days. I called my neighbor, Milan. He sounded uneasy, said he saw me standing across the street the night before, just staring at my building. For hours, motionless. But that wasn't me. I started digging. Locals call her, Plesasica. The dancing one. She appears late at night, always alone. People say if you see her, she'll show you someone you lost. Or worse, yourself. I found an old village called Vrata, where the first reports began. Most people wouldn't talk, but one old woman did. She told me the legend goes back to the war. A girl named Marija died in a bombing, but people swore they saw her dancing in the rubble. At first, she looked like herself. Then, she didn't. I should have walked away, but I couldn't. A few nights later, I woke up on my bathroom floor. Barefoot, dirt on my hands. I live on the 3rd floor. There was a video on my phone. I don't remember filming it. It was me, dancing. I called an old contact, a folklorist named Danilo. When I told him everything, he went silent. Then he asked, "Have you danced yet?" I told him about the video. His voice dropped. "Then it's already begun." He said she doesn't want to kill you. She wants to become you. And the more lost you are, the easier it is for her to wear your skin. That night, I heard music. A slow, off-key violin playing a melody I'd never heard before, yet somehow knew by heart. I opened my door, and I stepped into the hallway. Not because I was scared, but because part of me wanted to join her. The next morning, I didn't wait. I booked a bus to the south, to the village of Vrata, the place where the dancing lady was first seen. The air there was thick with silence, like the whole town was holding its breath. People stared but wouldn't speak. At the cafe, I showed a man the video on my phone. His face went pale. "She dances near the old asylum," he whispered. "The house with no windows. No one goes there." Curiosity pushed me forward. The asylum was abandoned decades ago. War damage, they said. But the locals told darker stories. They said the patients were part of secret experiments, trying to erase memories, control minds. The ones who danced never left. I found the building at dusk. A hulking shadow in the forest. Windows boarded or broken, doors sealed tight. Still, from inside, I heard faint music. A violin. Inside, the air was stale. Dust and decay. I found old journals in a locked office, handwritten notes about dancing therapy and possession control. The doctors believed dancing could unlock memories, or trap souls. One name repeated over and over, Marija. The same girl from the village stories. As I turned to leave, I caught movement in the corner of my eye. A figure, a woman, pale, in a white dress. She wasn't dancing, not yet, but when she slowly turned her face toward me, I felt it, something cold, something waiting. And in that moment, I realized the dancing wasn't random. It was a lure, to pull you in. I ran. Outside, the forest was darker, heavier. The violin music followed. It wasn't just sound anymore. It was a voice, calling my name. I don't know what I'm becoming. But I know this is just the beginning. The night after the asylum, I couldn't sleep. The music haunted my dreams, a haunting violin playing somewhere just beyond reach. I kept seeing her face. Not just in videos anymore, but everywhere. Reflections in windows. Shadows in doorways. The woman in white, always spinning, always watching. I tried to tell myself it was stress. Maybe the isolation, the pressure of chasing a story no one wanted told. But then, strange things started happening to me. I began losing time. Minutes would vanish. I'd find myself standing somewhere, soaked in sweat, with no memory of how I got there. My hands trembled. I caught myself dancing alone in my apartment, the same slow, broken movements. Worse, my reflection sometimes didn't match me exactly. A blink too slow, a smile too sharp. One afternoon, I met a woman named Yelena in the village. She was the last survivor of the asylum patients, or so she said. Her eyes were tired, haunted. She told me the dancing wasn't just possession. It was a fight. Marija is trapped inside herself, Yelena said, voice trembling. The dance, it's her prison and her weapon. You have to resist, or she will take you. That night, I tried to fight. When the music started again, soft, relentless, I forced myself to stay still. But it wasn't just sound anymore. The violin was inside my head. And when I closed my eyes, She was there, spinning, smiling, waiting. I realized then, the dancing lady wasn't just a ghost. She was a part of me. And if I didn't stop her, I would be lost. I didn't know how much longer I could hold on. The line between me and her was fading. Every mirror became a battleground. When I looked at myself, I wasn't sure who was staring back, Luka or the dancer. I stopped going outside. I barely spoke to anyone. Yelena warned me, if you let her inside fully, you'll disappear. The dance consumes more than bodies, it devours souls. One night, I found an old music box hidden among the asylum's ruins. It played the same haunting violin melody. As the notes spun through the air, my memories flooded back, not just mine, but Marija's too. I saw her life, her hopes, her fears, the war tearing her world apart. She wasn't a monster, she was a scared girl trapped in a nightmare that never ended. The music box stopped, silence filled the room, and then, a whisper, "Dance with me." I was ready to fight, to resist, but something inside me ached. A desperate, lonely part that wanted to be seen, to be held. The next day, I called my sister. For the first time in years. Her voice cracked when she answered. "Luka, you sound different. Are you okay?" I almost lied, but instead, I whispered, "I'm scared." Because the dance isn't just about fear. It's about loneliness. And sometimes, that's the hardest thing to fight. I knew I couldn't run anymore. The dancing wasn't just outside me, it was inside. The line had blurred so much, I was afraid I'd lose myself completely. So I went back to the village. I needed answers, not from stories or ghosts, but from the people who lived with this nightmare. That's when I met Marco, a man in his 60s, rough hands, eyes that had seen too much. He told me about the war, the real horrors no history books mention. Marija wasn't just a victim. She was part of something darker, a secret ritual meant to protect the village, one that went horribly wrong. They tried to trap the horrors of war inside her through the dance. But the dance trapped her instead. Marco gave me an old, faded diary. Marija's last words, "I am the dance. I am the silence between the steps. I am lost, but I will find my way back." I understood then, the only way to stop her wasn't to fight the dance. It was to finish it. That night, I played the music box. I stepped into the street. And I danced, not because I wanted to lose myself, but because I wanted to find the part of me that was still free. I danced under the moonlight, the music box's haunting melody echoing through the empty street. Each step felt like peeling back layers of a wound I'd carried my whole life, memories, regrets, the loneliness. As I moved, I wasn't fighting the dance anymore. I was becoming part of it, yes, but on my terms. Suddenly, the fog thickened. The woman in white appeared beside me, face no longer mine, but hers. She reached out, not to grab me, but to guide me. Her eyes held something I hadn't expected, peace. In that moment, I understood. Marija wasn't a curse. She was a warning, a soul trapped between worlds, begging to be free. I finished the dance. The music stopped. The fog lifted. I felt her leave, like a breath released from my chest. But something stayed, a quiet strength. I returned home. The photos stopped coming. The emails stopped. And slowly, I started living again. But sometimes, when the night is still and the wind hums just right, I swear I hear a faint violin playing, calling me to dance once more. And I wonder, will I ever really be free?